Hey, Brett Wilson, Keller Williams, Dallas Metro North. Hey, a term I've been hearing quite a bit lately is here in our real estate industry is seller pay concessions. So what I want to do is explain to you what they are, why I'm hearing it, and how they affect you as a seller. So first, why am I hearing this? Because there's companies out there, companies like Zillow, Open Door, a new one is Perch, and so on, that are trying to convince you that selling your house to them, the investor, is going to net you just as much in the end, or is going to make you as much money in the end. And I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, is that's complete bull BS, and here's why. Whenever they make that offer, they typically will send you also a side-by-side comparison saying, okay, if you use us, this is what we think that you might make, versus if you used an agent, this is what you might make. And somewhere in that comparison, there's always a line item called seller paid concessions. And so what they would show is that if you just sell directly to us, there'll be no seller paid concessions. But if you use an agent, there's going to be a fee or a seller paid concession that's going to equate to a fee of, maybe 1% or 1.5%. So let me explain to you how seller paid concessions work in the real estate industry most of the time when you're utilizing an agent. A seller, in the end, sets a list price. They have an idea of what they're going to net when they list that house. They also have a range of, okay, maybe I'm willing to negotiate X number of dollars. And so maybe in this instance, this seller lists his house at $203,000, and he is willing to net down to the $200,000 mark, and that's it. He knows going into it. A buyer comes and makes an offer. The buyer decides, well, I'll make an offer of $200,000. He doesn't know what the seller's willing to do, but he makes an offer of $200,000, and then he turns around and also asks for $3,000 in seller pay concessions. They take that, they submit that offer to the listing agent. Listing agent takes it to the seller. Seller looks at it and says, oh, okay, well, look at this. If I look at this, they offer $200,000, but then they also want $3,000 in concessions, so that's going to net me less than what I originally said that I was willing to do. In that case, the listing agent would say, okay, well, how about this? Why don't we go back and submit a counter offer saying, well, accept the $3,000 in concessions, but we want full price for the house. So we want you to raise your offer up to $203,000, and we'll give you $3,000 in concessions. If that gets accepted, the negotiation could go back and forth or whatever, but if that gets accepted, basically you can see that in the end, there really is no concession, because the seller got what they wanted, which is the net amount that they were looking for to begin with, and the buyer got what he wanted, which was $3,000 in seller pay concessions. But it works out to the same net for the seller, so really there is no concession. Another instance where you might see a concession or a seller pay concession. Buyer and seller come to an agreement on the same house. They agree right up front, it's $203,000 full price, no concessions. Buyer has the house inspected, determines that, well, there's X number of repairs that need to be done. Asks the seller to do the repairs. Seller says, well, I don't have the time or the resources to do the repairs, but instead I will give you $3,000 in lieu of repairs. And in that case, you would then see that $3,000 get moved down to concessions. So it really wasn't a concession, seller paid concession per se, as it was giving back money to the buyer to take care of the repairs once the house is done. So as you see, we're smart enough in the real estate industry, listing agents and experienced agents, to give everybody what they need, but still take care of our clients to the best of their ability, where there's really no extra fee or concession that needs to be paid out. So when you hear from an Open Door, a Perch, or a Zillow that utilizing them is going to save you money by paying no concessions to them, that's complete BS. That's not how it works. I'm not telling you that it's always a horrible idea to utilize their services. I mean, if you're in it for trying to get rid of your house quickly, going in it that you're going to net a significant amount less by utilizing them, and you're all right with that, then by all means utilize their service. But don't go into it blind thinking somehow you made just as much as you would have if you would have utilized an agent. So hope this information is helpful. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below or send me an instant message. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye.